Hi guys, today we are going to be learning about movement within the US for social studies. Our learning target is today we will learn about some of the groups of people that moved within the US, including slaves. Earlier this week we learned about how pioneers moved within the US, and this is going to be kind of an extension off that, but talking about different groups that we might not have talked about last time. So movement. Movement is a very big part of geography. Where someone lives really affects how they live and what they do. Like if you live over in New York, your job, your lifestyle is probably gonna be very different than if you were to live in the middle of nowhere in farming country in Iowa, something like that, for example. We are going to be talking a little bit about push-pull factors and what are push-pull factors and how do they affect life. So push-pull factors really are things in life that either push you away from an area or pull you towards one. So like a push factor could be like, oh, I really hate the cold weather. So if you hate the cold weather, you're not going to live up north. You're going to live down south where it's going to be warmer and more to your liking. A pull factor is something that you really like, that there's an area has something that you really love. Like I love snow in the winter. I'm a big fan of snow. So a big pull factor for me for if I was looking for living somewhere up north, up in the UP even, is I'm gonna look at like a pull factor is that they get a lot of snow and I love snow in the winter. A push factor might be that, oh, it gets really cold up there too without snow sometimes. So push pull factors really are just different factors and different parts of life that you either dislike or like that really help affect where you're going to end up. So push factor and some possible push factors that a person would take into account if they're thinking of moving, especially back in the olden days, like we are talking about. When we're talking about slaves and slavery in the U.S., that happened a couple hundred years ago. So back in the 1800s, mid 1800s, early 1800s, back in there. So the push pull factors are going to be a bit different than what we might experience today, because they are less advanced and they're going to have a lot different struggles in different areas. So, like if we were in the 1800s and we were looking at slaves, for example, um, actually, let's not look at slaves. That's a bad example. Sorry. If we look at just a farmer in the U.S., if we're living in a city and there's a lack of food, lack of clean water, and a bad climate, like it's either too hot or too cold for your liking, then you're maybe gonna be thinking about moving out west. When the United States government bought land out west, everything west was pretty much unsettled for the most part, but it really came down to populating that area, and there was this huge move west once that area was settled, or once that area was bought and claimed for the United States. There were hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people that were living in cities and were not happy, and they moved out west for better jobs, new jobs, promises of riches. There's a big gold mining strike out west, and that was a big part for people for moving and living out there. But I mean, if you say you're in trouble with the law in New York and they don't have a way of communicating with out west, then you might be really thinking about leaving New York, for example, and moving out west, where you're not going to have to worry about the issues that you have. All right, there are a lot of push pull factors out there that really affect people and how and where they live. Pull factors. So some pull factors might somewhere that a pull factor is obviously something that makes you want to leave somewhere to go to another place. And that other place might be promise of a lot of money, easier living, water, good food, family, job opportunities, and many more. So there are a lot of different pull factors, just like there are push factors that could get a family or person to up and move from where they live. Okay. So this book that is in Google Classroom is about a family moving out west and up and moving, and it's going to talk about different push factors, different pull factors that they might experience. So I want you guys to pause this video and go click the read aloud about of Dandelions by Eve Bunting in Google Classroom. and come back to this recording once you are done. Hi guys, welcome back. So you guys just watched the read aloud of Dandelions, and I hope you guys liked the book. It has some really good information, really good facts in it, and we are going to be talking about those for a little bit. So, what I want you to do right now is this isn't going to be turned in, but just to help further the information that you have and to help you think about it, the book more. I want you to grab a piece of paper and pencil, and I'll pause here if you need. If you need to go run and grab those, go ahead and pause this video right here so you can go grab those and then come back and we'll get into these questions. All right, so if you paused, welcome back. If not, there's a little pause. So I want you guys to answer these questions. So who was migrating? Why were they moving? What were the push factors and what were the pull factors? And all of these questions are very important because they really help to look at the different details of the book, and it really makes sure that you were paying attention. If you need, feel free to pause and write down your answers, and then if you're struggling even a bit with this, you can go back to the book and listen again with the questions that you have now, and you can go back, listen, and write them down as you go through the listening of the book. Okay? All right, and then just a little connection to Michigan for you guys. So, do you think that people move to Michigan? I know when we think of westward expansion and moving west out from the coast, um, a lot of people just think, oh, going all the way out west to California, Utah, Arizona, all that area, all the really dry, deserty areas, all the way out west. But there are a lot of people that moved to Michigan, and they moved for land, for farming, and space. And I mean, Michigan was a largely uninhabited state, so there's nothing here but woods, water, and a ton of land for cheap or even free for a lot of people. So say you're living in New York and you don't really have a job that you love and you really want to expand yourself and better and get a better life, you're gonna maybe take that risk and move and try your hand at farming and getting some land for yourself, clearing it out and making a homestead for you and your family. So a lot of people moved from New York, Boston, Philadelphia, and any other areas on the coast to move to Michigan and to improve their life. All right, so then our homework for today should be a short and easy one. I want you to complete this worksheet that is in Google Classroom and then turn it in for me. It's just 3 push factors and 3 pull factors from Dandelions. Okay, so I want you to, if you need, go back and re-listen to that story. But I want you to go back and just think about some different push factors and different pull factors. And I want you to write them down and then just write 2 or 3 words of what you think was the importance of these push factors, pull factors. So what do you think was the most important push factor for the family for those in the book? Okay. And I want you guys to just answer these, complete that, and turn it in on Google Classroom. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, email me or Mrs. Pappas, and have a nice day.